Hi, my name is Chris. Um, let's see. For my first 5 years I was here, I had problems with drugs. I experimented with a lot of drugs, and was into a lot of criminal behavior growing up. You know, I've done meth, coke, pills were my drug of choice, but started selling drugs to supply a habit, and I was really insecure. I had a personality where I put on a big front for everybody to think that I was okay, but on the inside I was just broken. I was always broken. It was terrible. I was just ruining my life. And in the midst of ruining my life, I was victimizing all those that loved and cared for me. I had a daughter, and I got in trouble and went to prison. One of the clearest days of my life still now. My mom, my daughter, and my sister leaving me at the bus stop to drive 8 hours to turn myself into Sandstone Prison in Minnesota to serve an 11-year and 3-month sentence. And I remember them driving next to the bus as the bus was pulling out of the bus station and seeing my 6-year-old daughter and my sister and my mom just wrecked. And I was wrecked. And so I got to prison, and it's not quite like they say it is on TV. It's not good, but while I was there, about a month after I got locked up, my father committed suicide. And I felt responsible. I felt, like a horrible son. Like I didn't talk to him enough, didn't communicate with him enough. I felt all these reasons why it was my fault that he took his life. It was hard. I started, becoming really hot-tempered in there, and there was some times where I lashed out at some people, and they happened to be some Christian men in there that saw me going through what I was going through. And one in particular, this guy Doug, he would always invite me to eat with him, to pray with him, to go to church with him. And at this point, I blamed God. I thought, how could a God who everyone says loves me so much, how could he allow this to happen to me? I just didn't know how to deal with it. But there was just this group of men in there that they just kept loving on me. And no matter how I treated them, no matter how I lashed out, they just kept inviting me to prayer group, inviting me to church, and I didn't want to go. I didn't want anything to do with it. And so they would drag me there, and before you know it, God just started showing me that this was his love, and I remember one day, I don't remember the exact date, but I remember there was one day, and I was in service, and the scripture that was being preached on was Isaiah, and it was where he says, "Woe is me, for I'm a man of unclean lips." And I felt like the pastor was just talking to me, and he was just telling me, I felt like God was calling me out. I could feel myself. I was just sitting in there, and I was just struggling against it. No, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. My pride was literally fighting this voice that was saying, it was calling me out for who I was. And I just confessed. I said, Lord, this is who I am. I'm dirty, filthy rags. I'm a sinner. I'm a broken man. And I just, in the very moment I said that, it was like this weight was just instantly taken off of me. And that was when I first understood God's grace and His mercy. And see, God wasn't calling me out to hurt me. He was calling me out to heal me. And I gave my life to the Lord right there. And while I was at that prison, I was learning about the Lord, and I ended up getting in some trouble while I was in there. I got accused at one time of threatening a staff member, which I did not do. Trust me, I'm the type of person that would admit it if I did it. I admit a lot about myself. But they threw me in solitary confinement. And while I was in there, I read the Bible. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed. And I just remember this one day, I was just praying, Lord, I really want to know who you are and what your word means. And it just, all of a sudden, it started making sense to me. And when I was in there, all these men kept going to the warden, kept going to the lieutenants. There's so many men in there that even the chaplain at the prison went on my behalf and said, Mr. Gonzalez is not involved in this stuff. And the person that I had got in trouble for, that accused me of threatening him, ended up getting a different job and left. And that was totally God working. And I ended up going to camp. And while I was there, I took a job there as a chapel clerk. And I was scared. I felt unworthy to be, in a position like that. But, there was the guy that was the chapel clerk. He said, Chris, I really feel like God's calling me to ask you to do this. And I got asked to do it. And, at first I said no. And then I remember one day just sitting there watching a movie, and I just felt like I had made the wrong choice. And I went to my friend and I said, you know what, I will take that job if the offer is still there. And so I got the job as a chapel clerk, and God just moved mighty in my life and helped me to help other men in a way I've never imagined I could. A lot of people who get locked up get a bad rap that, you go to jail and you get God. And it's not the case for all of us. I think I went to prison and God got me. I didn't get God. He found me in there. And when I was getting close to getting out, I reached out I was talking to my sister, and she was telling me about Citylight, this new church that she was just, she was crazy about the church. So here I am, weightlifting dude, ex-drug dealer, prisoner, saved by the love of Jesus, and sitting up here giving my testimony and crying. And people are gonna see this, and I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with people knowing who I was, because it's not who I am.